Okay, that wasn't so bad. We have officially completed our first pivot table. Good for you. You can do hard things. Hooray. Okay, now we're up to a slightly more complicated pivot table. Let's say we want more than one piece of information in our pivot table. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our data sheet because now what we want to start looking at is which station was the most popular, right? Where are people starting from? Right? Where are they starting from? And so I have my data highlighted and I go to data and I go to pivot table, except that this time I would like to put it on an existing sheet, right? But now I need to tell it where I wanted to put the table. So I actually can click in this little box where it says where's what location. I go back to my pivot table tab and I click in the box where I'm going to want my pivot table to go. So it fills in the address of that cell and I press OK and I press create. This way I can look at multiple pivot tables on the same page without having to flip back and forth between them. And now this opened up my pivot table editor again. So now what we want to do is we want to first add the start station ID. We want to add the start station ID. It's going to put in all that information, all the ID numbers. Again, I don't think I need totals because I know that my total is going to equal the total number of trips. So this isn't something that I need here. But I also want the station name. So I also pull in the start station name. And again, I don't need my totals. And again, I wait a second. So now it's like, well, what even is this? Don't worry. We'll be able to fix that very soon. Oh, see, it fixes itself. It just thought it wanted totals for each one. Now it realizes that I don't need those totals. And now I go to values. And again, I want to count A so that I could get the count of how many times that station was used as a start. But again, if I want to know which stations are the most popular, instead of sorting it by start station, I'm going to sort it by the count. But I want to be able to see the most popular ones first. So I'm going to do it descending. And there we have it. The Grove Street Path and the Sip Avenue stations and the Hamilton Park stations are the most popular stations to start a ride from. Okay, now that's very interesting because I know that the PATH train is public transportation. So perhaps I can hypothesize that people are getting off the train and then taking a city bike, maybe instead of an Uber, in order to get to their job, right? They're commuting to Jersey City, which is where all these stations are, then they are getting on a bike and biking over to work. But let's say I also want to know where they end. I could do the same thing. I could find so many different kinds of pieces of information, and that's actually for the first time in my challenge for you that I'm not going to show you how to do exactly. In addition to creating this pivot table with the start station ID and the start station name, I would like you to create the end station, a pivot table for the end station. Now, it happens to be if you were like, I don't need to know the ID, who cares? You could actually take that away and just go with the start station name that is sorted by the count and still have that piece of information. I look forward to seeing 2 more pivot tables from you, and we'll meet back then.